implementation. Okay, so you're the one, it's not random, you're the one that actually in fullness is saying it. So it's not random to you. No matter what you say, it's not random. It's like the same thing of people, what is it, talking, and then in all truthfulness, you're the only one in all truthfulness. Considering you are your wholeness part, attempting to figure out yourself so that you can showcase what it is to be able to have your attributes and understand your attributes and what that is to apply it, because you're the one that's holding the space, as you are the one that's that of that wholeness part of caring about what you say, because every other person or wholeness part only cares about what they say, because they're doing the same thing. They're attempting to become, from the student to the teacher, that of the frank sense of the understanding of what it means to talk. Even if you say somebody else's name, you're not actually talking to them. You're talking to yourself. Even if you're looking at them, you're not talking to them. You're talking to yourself. There are moments when you're just reaffirming what you know, and there are moments when you're learning. You know, if you're learning something, you're yes, it depends on how focused you are and how where you're placing your focus and how aligned you are with your intuition and your heart space and what's going on. Because if you have that warm feeling, that inner spark, you know, where your heart is, which in all truthfulness, that's actually the first thing and the last thing that comes into this existence. So your heart, that is actually a brain itself. And then you have this brain, which is actually where the ego, so you can understand this, because the heart is where your soul lives, where the omniverse and the multiverse kind of comes to exist, because you're holding your space, because you're in space and then time and all that kind of stuff. So if you have that kind of a warm feeling, you're not actually learning anything. It's actually something you're recalling, because your soul, your heart, is basically had so many lifetimes. It's actually the part that exists in all. It's actually the allness of yourself, of everything. Your brain, this one basis, doesn't have that basis. It's not exactly meant to. You know, it's because you would, if you knew that you were what is it, that you're God, basically in the frank sense, you wouldn't make the same decisions, you know, because you know everything. You're all powerful and you can do anything. But since you are wanting to understand yourself in the fullest sense, you're going to take yourself, not limit yourself, but make it where you think, have the understanding of you are limited, that you can't do anything, that you don't have control, you know. So you get to the point where you are able to think that way, you know. Yes, I know it does come down to you getting distracted and being assisted to be distracted by the black and white, white and black regurgitational, monetized boxation schooling that we're all in at this moment. And I say that because, I mean, I know that I'm talking completely, utterly unnormal, or at least showcasing it in that way, but I still coexist here. That, yes, I am a human at this moment. So what that means as being that I am a wholeness part of myself, the other wholeness parts that prefer to continue on in the way they do, that are coming together more, are what propels everything forward in that sense. But to be here to fully experience it, because I want to be here for some reason, you know, or I'm here now, so I might as well enjoy it, basically. That's kind of how it goes, you know. What was I gonna say? Oh, I also got some ringing in my ear before the video actually said that it would be preferable to switch over to another one. Which means that that means that I'm I'm getting a download. I'm getting a download, or I'm unlocking something because I've understood something. Because I'm the wholeness part that put it that way. I programmed it that way, or I made it work that way, or I understood that it works this way, or that it's my attribute that actually propels it forward. That's what that means when you have a ringing in your ear. You also have it where, since there is multidimensionality, you got it where you exist being a user of an object as a general somewhere, of another human lifetime, or that of a galactic fleet somewhere. And then you have, another insect or a queen or something like that, And it's not necessarily that you're having a bad day. If you're having a bad day or something like that, it's not necessarily that you're having the bad day. One of your multidimensional wholeness parts of the understanding of what it is to express yourself is having a bad day, because that one just died, or is killing something, or is going through something that's not preferable. And so since you are connected to that, because it is you, it's not going to play out the same way, because, well, you didn't kill somebody or going through that. You're just that part, you're playing out the human. What is it to go to the food store? You're playing out the human store. And so the understanding is, well, you can't fly, because that existence, you were flying and then you fell, because you got hit by another person, and so you hit your head and you died, basically, or something like that. Or you did that and you didn't die, but you're going through, like, your wing was hurt or something like that, so now you're being rehabilitated or something like that. Or you're just really perturbed and irate, and at least you're not, one of your existences, your linking of yourself, of what it is to understanding of your expression of your whatnot, is feeling. And so that's one reason why you have a bad day, or can have a bad day, because that's why it's preferable, because since you can be a general somewhere and you're going to go to war or whatnot, so you can go ahead and be experiencing that and just go with it and be like, which I'm not saying go ahead. If you're feeling it, feel it. Don't box it up, because once it gets down to the certain level, the final level, no matter what, it's going to explode and be 100 times worse, because it has time to build up. It's like a spring. So if you feel it fully at that moment, it's like a coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's like the same thing of you, like, going back in your mind, what could have done this way, it could have been that way, should have been that way, could have been, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's the same thing. You're not, what basically is, you fully experience every single thing of it. By doing that, you are able to fully experience and get all the value, the lesson of it. Even if you don't, you're giving your all, you're fully focused there. So what you experience and what you understand, that's what you're meant to understand at that moment. Because you are understanding your wholeness part, and that's how you do it. That, like I'm saying, is that attribute that is a general and is going to go to war. You can, if you are balanced and centered and grounded, and this whole thing that's showing around me is that of, like, chaos and all that, and like, I cut myself and I stubbed my toe, and oh my goodness, I just want today to be over. You can feel that way, and that can happen, but you can be like, okay, I cut myself. That's okay. Can I still move my hand? Okay, I can still my hand, and it's not deep. It's only a little bit. Okay, I stub my toe. Okay, well, let me go ahead and move something around, or be a little bit more slower because I just woke up, or be patient or whatnot. And then, if you are within this existence calm about it, seeing the upside of it, that existence of you being a general has just now found a negotiable way about going about it, and now you're actually alliance instead of going to war. Because if you went to war, that means it means that you went to war, but in the same sense that in this existence you cut yourself and you're like, and you stub your toe, and I want today to be over, and all that, like there's a whole thing of, am I going crazy? Because I'm hearing these voices. And then it's like, well, or is it my thoughts? Is it my thoughts in my head? Or is somebody actually talking to me? Or what, Yeah, everybody's crazy. Like, literally, everybody's crazy. There are just some that prefer to go to their houses, go inside, and be crazy. Because all the other times they're putting on an act, a face, a mask, because they've been shown that's more preferable to, through the white and black and white, regurgitational, boxation, monetized schooling that we're all in, to act only this way. And then there are the other ones that love themselves no matter what, because they learn that they accept themselves, that it's okay, that's the only way that can be, to accept yourself and to love yourself. That's the two things. And also, you got the people, that's what I was saying, I do recall, I'm so glad, that you got the people where, recall how I was saying you walk in a circle, going forward, your head down. Okay, you have the people that have looked up, that got quite possibly gotten stronger, but then got knocked back down because they're shaken, or they just instantly got put back down, which assists them to start walking backwards with their head still going down. And then you have the ones where it's like, they went through the whole walking backwards with their head down, or they went straight from walking forwards, looking up, getting shooken, and then they look up again and they're like, whoa, what happened? I have kids, and so like a preferable parent that or not a preferable parent, but a parent that stays with their kids, regardless of what it is, because everybody does the best that they can at the time of their being, so everybody's right. Not to say that it's preferable to stab somebody with a fork after you realize that it hurts somebody. I mean, yes, you're doing the best that you can, but it's still not preferable after the fact. It's what it is, but you realize you're taking a step closer. You're actually able to realize, oh, that's not really preferable, because then it hurts someone. But considering you're all a part of everything understanding itself, that means that you came here to understand something through the way of whatever it is. So there are people where they want to understand what it is to be raped, or to be the rapist. So yes, in the same sense, like, if you get raped, you are a rapist, or something like that. So you understood one side of it, and now you want to understand another side of it, so that you can understand it, so you can have a basis of what it is to have the understanding of the undertaking, of the idea, of the concept, of the objectization of what it is to be the wholeness part that you are. That of going back to the whole shaking, walking in a circle thing, there are the people that wake up, that raise their heads or whatnot, see that they have a kid or whatnot, or getting shooken or whatnot, and they're walking backwards, taking steps to do a circle, So they're doing a circle within a circle with their head down, because it's like, you can say that they're trapped, or not trapped, but they have a kid, and they want to do the best that they can. Okay, I have a kid. Okay, I have a kid. So what do I do now? Kind of a thing. And then okay, I love having a kid, and that's awesome, but the person that I had a kid with, that we both gifted into this world and is gift to all around, is not that preferable to me. And so, but basically, you get to have this kid, and that's awesome, but then you stay with this person, or you like visits, or transferring from the kid to parent kind of a thing. You know, or you just, whatnot, you know, oh yeah, okay, so you think you hear voices or whatnot. You are hearing voices. Okay. So you have the breakdown of what it is to, what the idea of the food store, and then the clothing store. They're both at different levels, okay? Or they can be at the same level, or they can be like, they have a door where it connects them. So like the transitioning from that level to that level, or the vibrational frequency to that vibrational frequency. So it all comes down to what you resonate at, what you output to what you get. That of, oh my goodness, what was I saying? Oh, so you have that thought that comes into mind, that like when you meditate, it's not to focus on something, it's to focus on what you want to focus on. So you can focus on that thought, but you accept that thought, and then you go back to what you're focusing on, and soon, considering you raised your vibration, or you changed your vibration, that thought's not going to be there anymore. Because you can go into the state of going back and existing and taking from the omniverse and the multiverse. But, so you have that way, and then you have it where you have the thoughts from being from the multi-dimensionality kind of thing, your other coexistence, or the possibility of that, or whatnot, their perception of that, of them talking to you, or your guardian angels, or God, or whatnot, conversing to you. It's the whole kind of like channeling kind of thing. And then actually you could just be really crazy. But really, in all truthfulness, if I didn't accept, and if I didn't have the outview that I had, and if I wasn't able to understand how to accept and whatnot, I would go crazy. Like, I literally would make sure I can find a way of being put myself into a crazy house or prison or something like that, so that everybody else can just tell me what to do and I don't have to focus on it. Because it, like, in truthfulness, it's silly how things are set up, in the nicest way of saying it, of the whole surviving thing, of the whole money thing, of like going back to what I am saying about, like, oh, okay, I went to Fry's, or I went to a place. I went to a place, and it was a store, and it was I was voluntarily beautifying the community, and yes, I was talking to people about being able to understand, like, there's only like 2 people possibly that I said, well, FBV for value, so that you can go and get to the actual everything else, of being able to have that place and that ground, of being able to have a place where you can take the step, or a gathering point or whatnot, of being able to live. I also said to people, random acts of kindness, random, there's no such thing as random, they're just acts of kindness. And then of team humanity, like, we're all part of team humanity. Humans are the only one that, in truthfulness, can take care of each other, because that's what is existing now, and we don't accept that, or more of the wholeness doesn't accept that there's other stuff out there. Or is more willing to say that there isn't other stuff out there, and so we're the only ones. So from that standpoint, we basically got to take care of each other, and like, the unpreferable recycling, the trash, which what I was picking up, since humans put it there, humans gotta take it away, considering the whole, if the more willingness of the collective kind of a thing, or the higher allotted number of the collective saying that there isn't other stuff out there, basically, so that means the humans gotta take care of it kind of a thing. And so I was talking to people, and I'm not sure if it was the people that I was talking to, or if it was other people that overheard me saying it in a way, a boisterous and Christian way, that to the people that I was talking to, as it just rolling on and continuing on to have them hear it, that of it's not preferable for me to be there. Now, like I was saying, I'm not sure if it was the people that I've talked to or whatnot, because, some people prefer to attempt to step out of the box, but usually they ask the question and then jump back in the box for 5 seconds. Because of the whole white and black, black and white, regurgitational, boxation, monetized schooling that we're all in at this moment. And another way of understanding it is, some people, since they are fully more willing to focus in that way, they're going to just, since they went to the food store, went to that store, they want to go to that store to get the stuff what that store got. Go home so they can relax, so that they can eat and then go to sleep, and they can go back to work or their monetary expression. Because what is your job in truthfulness? Being the best that you can be at the moment of you being. Because, well, in truthfulness, you are the only one that can ever say and will ever be able to say that you are you. So why would you ever want to give that up, or say, not be screaming that or shouting that or dancing that or whatnot from the most of your vibrancy, the explosive, the eruption? Why hold back? Why be patient? Why digress from that? And so that manager and I was like, well, this is what I'm doing here, cause I know who I am. I mean, I'm to that point of understanding myself. Now it just comes down to tweaking that, and being an example, because only by being an example, because everybody, the others has to be willing to accept you, to be able to approach you, because if they're not willing and you're shouting at them, they're going to make sure that they box themselves up more inside a box. Because there are people that prefer to be more willing to ask the question, and then for half of 5 seconds, then jump back in the box for half the other 5 seconds. That's why I say it's 5 seconds to truly capture somebody, or say whatever you're going to say before they go back to their own thing and not really care what you have to say. But I was talking to these people, or the person that came out and was like, it's not preferable for you to be here, and da 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 da. And I was like, well, also it comes down to, kids are like sponges, so you got to sponge them up right in a preferable way, so they do preferable things. Basically I was like, okay, I'll meet eye to eye with you now. I won't talk to anybody. I'll keep on doing what I want to do, because it's, that's silly not to be able to voluntarily beautify the community. Not that I put it there, but being that to be influential, encouraging, inspirational, motivating others to at least pick up one thing and put it in the trash, or hold on to it and then put it into an unpreferable recycling can, or recycle it. and take a cart back, to the store, because it's everybody's job. We're all part of Team Humanity. And so I said that to them, or yeah, and he was like, okay. Oh, and I was like, okay, I won't talk to anybody. I'll do this. And if they initiate the conversation, I will say a little bit about this. But if you want to continue talking, come over here, not in front of Fry's or the store. And you know how, like, yeah, you can be calm and collected and grounded and be like, oh, okay, I understood everything, but you know how you can, like, hear what you want to hear? I heard everything and I understood it all, but I was so focused, like, I was perturbed that I was told that I had to leave from voluntarily beautifying the community, or I should say the world, or whatnot. And then I was enthralled. I was irate, and I kept focusing on it. I was like, "That's silly," and da da da. Okay, so I went to the store, and I got a comment card. It's kind of funny when you're not the most preferable mood, or you're upset or whatnot, and you call it a complaint card. When it's just a comment card or whatnot. But so I got that, and I was like, oh, I need more than this. I need more than, basically it would be like 3, if not 2.5 lines on a line sheet of paper of space, because I was like, I want to write a book, because that's what I was feeling. I was like, whoa, and I probably could have read a book, but I was like, you know what? I want to be inspired or influenced, to be encouraged, to be inspired, to be motivated, to put it in a way that store could interpret, and me to understand of what it is, of why they said that I can't be there, of why they said, basically because I was focusing, why they said that I can't voluntarily beautify the community. And so I asked for it. So instead of me going somewhere away from that area, because I wasn't what is it, in the middle of the walkway. I was by the customer service desk, and another manager came up, because I wasn't moving around, but I did talk to another person without them talking to me. So I kind of went against what I said, which is okay, because it wasn't them that initiated it. Because I was standing in the customer service line, and I was like, really, and I was like talking to myself, and I was like meditating, putting my arms up and putting them down, and then one of the baggers was like, it's intimidating being behind him, isn't it? And which is kind of funny, but I started talking to him, and it is what it is. But then I got somebody, and I also at the moment wanted the customer service policy, and the whole advertising thing, which is funny if you think about it. Isn't that soliciting in your own home on a private property? Don't most people say, I don't want to hear this commercial? But then when you go to do it, actually, to the store, they don't like it, because it breaks down to, if it's private property and they don't want you to be there, no matter what you're doing, they can ask you to go, and you have to go. Like, seriously, that's absolutely silly. But going back to my story, so this other manager came up to me, and I started talking, and because I was perturbed, or actually I was irate, I was very boisterous and crescendoed, which appeared to them as me yelling at them, because I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that what was going on and how unpreferable it was, and because seriously, it is very unpreferable to be told that you can't voluntarily beautify the community and be an example to influence, to encourage, to inspire, and to motivate others to care, to be able to say, oh, there's another way I can be, Because that's basically what it comes down to. Like life here on planet Earth at this moment it's like 75% of you understanding what you can do and 25% of you actually doing what you understand that you can do. But I was talking to the person and he was like, okay, you just gotta go. But instead of saying, okay, like the second manager or person I was talking to, instead of saying, okay, well, let me write that down or find it for you, can I please ask you to go and sit down? And if I don't come back up and get you, or I don't know where you are, come back to this customer service desk calmly and decrescendoed, because you are kind of crescendoed right now, and I understand, but it's not really preferable for other people, or at least our business sense, or the ones that feel that it's unpreferable for you to be here, can still want to come back. But instead of saying like that, he attempted to talk to me, and like I said, I was very irate, and I wanted everybody to understand that that's not preferable. They asked me to leave, which I understand why, because the whole soliciting thing. I mean, it's not preferable, because like I said, I was voluntarily beautifying the community, and regardless of that, it doesn't matter what it is, because it's private property. See, do you kind of see how it's silly of the black and white and black, regurgitational, boxation, monetized system? And another reason of why it's not preferable is because it brings you to say, it's not my fault, it's his fault, because it's not my job, it's his. And it's like, no, we're all part of Team Humanity, we're all here now. And humans, and regardless of if humans, the whole thing of if humans are the only things around, humans got to be the one that take care of it, But I left, being forced out, and like, okay, in Arizona, you always get water. Like, it's just that you get water no matter what, and I couldn't even get water from that establishment, which is absolutely, it is what it is, but very unpreferable. And so I went to the next place that had water and asked them. While I was being patient in line, I started feeling tears and started crying and whatnot. And I hope that dog's not barking because of me, because I know I was being very crescendo, because I was very passionate and in my zone. So I do apologize. But I started crying, literally, like you only cry when your body is releasing something, or you have that's basically, in a sense, how you get reborn, because water is like the second closest thing to light, and light's the first thing to what is God. But so you're being reborn, basically, you're releasing stuff and stuff like that. So I mean, it is what it is. I do accept it, and like the only way you can change a habitation, the only way, is to actually face it and to decide to keep doing it, or to decide to do something else. And like, it goes off of everybody's doing the best that they can. So they were doing the best that they can because they weren't representing themselves. If you work in a monetized job, you don't represent yourself. You can't be yourself. You have to be a robot. You can't be yourself. Even though whatever's going on, you can't be a robot. Now, that's another reason why it's silly to survive instead of live. But and I got the water, and I was like, I don't want to be in this store. I just want to be away from people. I don't want to talk to people right now. I was put down. I was just distraught, because in all truthfulness, I was going to write the customer comment and then give it to that person, because I don't control other people's life. Yes, it is very easy to manipulate, to do things, to influence people, to be encouraged, to be inspired, to be motivated, to do what you want. It takes strength and honorable and nobilism not to do that. To put it in a way, to do the roundabout way instead of the direct way. But like I'm saying is, I was going to give it to that person and say, here you go, because if you actually feel that you're in the right, then here you go. You decide to put it in or not to put it in. Because like I'm saying is, I don't like to control people, because what if it got taken to the level that person lost their job because that was the last yes of them being there. So they lost their job. They have kids, They didn't exactly lose their job. Maybe they had a step down. And so now it's a challenge for them to afford to live, Now now it's absolutely them surviving. Like, that's the only option they got. And so, that's why it's not preferable, that's why it's preferable to step back, to be calm, and then go back about it, of understanding it, and then today I talked to the store manager, which I actually found out during an interview what a hybrid manager is. The manager that manages people but also does exactly the same thing that they're doing. That's a hybrid manager. And I used to be a hybrid manager. It is a good challenge to say that I have a personal life, because you don't when you're representing something else. Or at least to be able to focus on that and to not go crazy. Or something like that. But so I also learned that I say things in a philosophical way, but interject my own thoughts about it, which makes sense. I mean, all that makes sense. It's just hearing it that way, because I like to talk about the roundabout, because I like to give others the opportunity to live their own life and understand it the best way that they can, But so I got to talk to the store manager, and I got to see it from their perspective, because I was calm, and I still want to understand. I want to understand, at that time, I mean, I still do, why people think it's preferable to survive and not live. I understand, but it's still everybody interprets it differently. But I called the store manager, or I called back the store, and I asked them. They said it was like soliciting and all that, and and then I gave them from an observable point of view, which means you're empathetic, but then you're detached at the same time. To be non-judgmental, to be able to say, okay, this is how it is, and this is how it is, and then to have no emotional attachment to it at all. So I called him, and I understood what he was saying, and because I still want to be able to voluntarily beautify the community. Basically, and then I also called the non-emergency number, and they said, well, it doesn't matter if the store talks to you and said that it's not preferable for you to be here. They don't have to ask you to be here or to leave. They can just call somebody, and that person come down, and in all truthfulness, just put it bluntly out there, police, to have that person that comes down, it's up to them, because it's, how it's not, you don't talk to the person, you don't say, well, this is this and this is my view, because that's not what they're there for. In the whole monetized black and white and black, regurgitational, boxization, schooling that we're all in system, it comes down to their job, their part in keeping that system going, to make sure that the black sheep don't become black sheep, or aren't able to showcase that they're black sheep to the white sheep. It's up to their discretion. So if they're having an unpreferable day and they get ticked off from you in any slightest way, they will take it to the extreme level. Like, I heard this one time that somebody had this conflict with somebody, but then they didn't call the police or whatnot, or they didn't call those people, but somehow those people went there, and they said, oh, well, it's okay, I don't really mind. And they were like, oh no, we're going to make sure this goes to the next level, because it comes down to a quota. I'm making sure that, so it's like, is it really actually benefiting everybody if they have to do a quota? Is that really them caring about you, or just saying, oh, well, this is how I'm going to make my money so I can survive and continue surviving? But, so I was like, I kept calling. I talked to the store manager, and it was probably like a 25-minute conversation or something like that. And I was like, well, I mean, I understand that I want to do what I want to do, and I understand that you can't say yes or no to me actually getting an answer, because it comes down to the customer actually being able to be willing to come back there, because that's kind of why you're around, is the person spending money here and whatnot. That, would it be okay if you go ahead and call me if it gets to the absolutely level of me never coming back there and doing that again, you know? And he was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then it comes down to, it doesn't make a difference unless it's him, that ones that is actually addressing it. It doesn't make a difference, because he can do so much. But if it actually gets taken for the other person that's not there, that gets just perturbed that day or whatnot, and he actually calls the person to come down, it's not in their hands anymore. It's in that person's hands. And that's silly. That's not the most preferable way about going about it. That's not discussing it, And I've been down there, like the whole thing of like a DUI or whatever, or you get taken into the police station at nighttime or whatever. I'm not sure how it works in the daytime, but you get taken down to the police station. That's actually when you have your trial. That's actually when they convict you. That's actually the final decision from the get-go. But because the black and white, regurgitational, white and black, monetized boxation schooling that we're all in at this moment says, oh no, it's trial, you're innocent until proven guilty, so then you get put into this whole system, even though the decision's already made, because it's like, because I wasn't sure what was going on, because I was under the impression that this isn't the trial, where's my lawyer and where's the jury and stuff like that, where's the discussional part, like I see on TV and all that, that wasn't there. It was just a person behind the glass that said, did you do this? Oh, okay, then goodbye. And it was like, I wasn't, and then it's like, they set you up, like if you say no, and then they find out that you actually were the one that did it, you get in worse trouble, But if you say yes, you're still in trouble. So, it's like, really? And then, they give you the whole distraction of not being able to actually realize that you just got put, that was the decision. And then it's like, because it's like, you have, 2 months or something like that before you actually see a judge to go about, well, did you do it or not? Oh, okay. Even though the decision's already made, they're just they're doing they're playing out what the distraction is all about, of what the mindset of the jury and the judge and the discussion part with your lawyer and stuff like that can be. Not to say that that's actually going to make any difference, unless you have the monetary means of influence of whatever, in truthfulness, and if that did get that way, you wouldn't go through that first part. You would go through the second part of the whole distractional outgoing. You wouldn't see that judge. You wouldn't, that because you have such an influence, or you have, well, what would you say? One of the I really gotta go to the pee, and I'll be right back. Cause oh my gosh.